alive. I'm getting high with my 4-5. Cops only suckers trying to die. Even as a youngster, causing ruckus on the back of the bus. I was a fool all through high school, kicking up dust. But now I'm labeled as a troublemaker. Who can you blame? Smoking weed up, we take away the pain. So I'm hopeless, rolling down the freeway, swerving. Don't worry, I'm about to crash upon the curb, cause my business bloody, baby. If they try to understand me, what should I do? I had to feed my fucking family. What else could I do but be a thug? I'm slanging with the homies, fuck hanging with them phonies in the club. Got my mind on danger, never been a stranger to homicide. My city's full of gangbangers and drive-bys. Why do we die at an early age? He was so young, but still a victim of 12 gauge. My memories of a corpse, mind full of sick thoughts, and I ain't going back to court. So fuck what you thought. I'm drinking Hennessy, running from my enemies. When I live a beat for 23, there's so much pain.
Okay, check this out. Outside Union Station in Washington, D.C. Just arrived, got all my luggage and everything. Got my MAGA hat on. And let me show you some of the scenes around here, okay? So, flagpoles, American flag been ripped down, but really interesting. Look at that little Hamas sign on the thing there. You got lines of police still out here. A lot of reporters now. Some counter protesters. But look at this. They've got a little love heart and a Hamas sign. And there is your US Capitol. If only somebody had written a book in 2017 that said Sharia is coming to a neighborhood near you. I wonder who wrote that.
Hey everybody, welcome in tonight. I had not seen a lot of this stuff tonight, and this breaks my heart. This really breaks my heart. My father, and as many other, fought for this country. Fought, and that flag meant something. And what they're doing, that was our American flag. It wasn't their personal flag. What you do with your personal flag is your personal business. But you climbed up and you took the capital United States American flag and you pulled it down and you treaded on it and you treated it like it was a piece of fucking shit. And then you set it on fire. That is an insurrection. That is treason. Hang on, and I'll show you it's an insurrection. Every single bit of it. Every single one of you. Every single fucking one of you. You want to arrest and work peacefully, until you guys gaslight and ignite shit? I'm just so disgusted with this. You should be too. You should be so disgusted with this. It's outrageous. This is completely outrageous for what has gone on today. And this is my first time actually watching it and seeing it. My family bled and died for this country. Amen. If I was in DC, I would have been arrested, period. You pulled down my fave and burn it, you're getting beat down, period. Exactly. I mean, let's watch this other one. I was trying to get it to come in full screen, but I don't know. It's not working right. But let's watch this. Hang on.
Back up! Come back, you fucking idiot! Come back! Shut the fuck up! Get the fuck off him! Get the fuck off him! Shame on you! Bro, he's training!
I believe you're correct on that, MAGA. They did this to provoke us, to call our bluff so we would react the way they wanted to. So they could take away more 2A. And we, the people, were very smart by being smart. See, I've heard quite a few people on the left to continuously say, well, y'all don't do nothing. We can pretty much do whatever they want, and we do nothing. Have you ever heard you don't wake a sleeping giant? You don't wake a sleeping giant. Because, see, Republican, they have conservative values. That's why they're conservative. They believe in a constitutional republic. They believe in the Constitution, our rights. They don't believe that you just rip the Constitution up and do whatever the hell you please, whenever you want to, however you want to. That isn't in our Constitution. You have no right to do this, what you're doing. And it should have been stopped. They should have been arrested. They should have been arrested, but nothing was done. And I don't understand why this is allowed. If you or I were up there, we would be arrested and would be considered terrorist. Or a terrorist act. And everybody knows it. We would. November 5th, Patriots, and the November 6th if we have to. They should have got the water cannons out and sorted it all. I mean, they were dragging police officers, dragging them off people and everything. Where was law enforcement then? Where was this is insurrection. They spray painted the Liberty Bell. They spray painted everything. They set Benjamin Franklin's statue completely on fire. They've demolished. They've desecrated. They have completely treated our capital like shit. But this can go. This can be okay. This is okay. And they can go climb up United States Capitol flagpole. Let that sink in. The flagpole is not your personal. That's not yours. That's not yours to just go up, take that flag down, and burn it. You do know your ass is on video. And you do know the American people will make such a big fucking fuss on this, because I'm calling everybody I know. And we're going to make such a big fucking fuss on this. Yeah, I bet you don't climb no more poles. And if you don't like the way America is and you want to fly that fucking Palestinian flag, take your ass over to Palestine. Take your ass, get you a one-way fucking ticket, and get your ass on a plane and get the hell out of America. You don't like it here, but no, you love the freedoms here. You don't even know half the fucking shit you're sitting there going for. You have no idea what you're fighting for, what the cause is for, what happened. October 7th, Hamas lit the match. So many other people did as well. I don't see you guys out in the streets saying something about the 1,100 people that were raped, children that were killed, children that were raped, women that were raped, men that were burnt alive. I don't see any of y'all saying, well, justice for that. I don't give two fuck shits if you agree with me or not. I really don't. But you don't climb up the flagpole and you take the United States flag down. That's right. You have a constitutional right to burn a goddamn flag any way you freaking please. Your personal flag. Your flag. Not the United States Capitol flag that was on Capitol property that was not your property. And every single one of you, FBI, why ain't you going to get a camera and find out who every single one of them are? That's not peacefully protesting. Not one bit. They're here because they hate Americans and destroying it and inside and out. And this is part of the plan. Absolutely. They need to take their ass back. Kamala Harris, you're part of this shit. Just like when you bailed out BLM, Antifa. You bailed them out of jail. Now you backtracking, you little worm. And you're backtracking and saying, no, I didn't bail them out. I didn't bail. Yeah, you did, bitch. Yeah, you did. You freaking bailed them out. I'm hot tonight. And if you don't like what I'm saying, I don't care. This has to stop. You vote for that woman. Do you not understand the chaos this country is going to be in? Do you not freaking understand how crazy? You should be upset. You should be concerned. You should be standing your ground. You should be standing on the Constitution of the United States of America is what you should be standing on. Period. These people are freaking nuts. I swear to God, they are freaking nuts. But how? Who is driving? Who's driving these buses? What? We cater to protests now? Is there some kind of line of buses that says, let's go tear up and tear down the Capitol? We'll take you there. You're complicit too. Every single one of you. Those chickens would have their heads chopped off if they'd burned the flag. Yeah, they took it down and burned it. I'm sorry, but I don't agree with their flag or the flag, whatever flag. It's my flag. I fought for it. Brothers and sisters died for it. I'll beat the fuck out of anyone that burns or steps on it, period. I understand where you're coming from, Dev Dog. Thank you for your service and every other veteran and everyone else that has ever fought for this country and died for this country. Family, friends. I sit back and I think, yeah, we have a constitution. And they do have a right to burn their personal property if that's what they choose to do. I'm not disagreeing with that. I may not like it, and I don't agree with burning the American flag. No. But you do have a constitutional right if that's what you want to do, and it's your personal property. Absolutely. But was that flag their personal property? Do you see they pushed the envelope? They pushed the boundaries. They've never went up in a flag on the Capitol. They are trying to completely gaslight, and they want the American people to revolt. They want them to get up and just cause and do it. That's what they're wanting. They're trying to light that match. They're truly trying to light that match to where it gets set off to no end. And Kamala Harris and Biden both are complicit in this shit. This is all part of their plan. Every bit of it's part of their plan. 1989, South Carolina said burning the U.S. flag is protected by the 1A. Trump fixes that the day one, I bet. Absolutely. But see, they revoked it. So it's not now since Biden's been in office. It hasn't been, since he's been in office. Definitely not. I just can't believe it. It's just. Well, let's hear what CNN is saying about Kamala running against Trump.
Shift in tone from the Democrats in particular I can't remember a time where we've been through something like this.
This has been the craziest month in American politics that I can possibly recall. It was less than a month ago that Joe Biden and Donald Trump were debating in the CNN debate.
Less than a month.
Less than a month. We had a failed assassination attempt. We had a president literally saying, no, I'm not going to run for re-election less than a month before the Democratic National Convention. But here is the thing, Sarah Seidner, for all of the excitement that Democrats have over Kamala Harris, it is going to be difficult to beat Donald Trump, and I want to give you an understanding of why. Let's take a look here just first at the favorable views of Donald Trump. We know that Donald Trump has historically been unpopular, but take a look now. After the Republican National Convention, in the ABC News Ipsos poll, he recorded his highest ever favorable rating at 40%. That's not a one-off. Take a look at the Quinnipiac University poll, 46%. That's the highest ever in that pollster. The fact is, Donald Trump is more popular now than he ever has been before. So yes, Democrats can make this switcheroo, but they're still going to have to beat Donald Trump, a Donald Trump who is stronger, Sarah, than he has ever been before.
It will be interesting to see how voters respond to all of this. Now, how is he doing relative to Harris, who did run at one point? What do those numbers look like?
Yeah, so let's take a look here, right? We've been focusing so much on how Harris was doing better than Biden in the polling, and that's true. If we take a look at the national average, what do we see? We see Donald Trump up by 1. That's a within the margin race, right? That's a close race. But remember, of course, in the national popular vote, Democrats tend to do better there than they've done in the Electoral College, at least when Donald Trump has been running for president. So last time around, when Joe Biden barely won in the Electoral College, he actually won the national popular vote by 4 points. So at this point, Donald Trump is running 5 points better. 5, that's a 5 of some sort. 5 points better than he was 4 years ago against Joe Biden. So at this particular point, whether you look at the favorable ratings, whether you look at the horse race polling, we see that Donald Trump is doing significantly better than he was doing 4 years ago at this point. Kamala Harris is going to have to do better than this, of course, if she wants to win the popular vote, but more than that if she wants to win the Electoral College, where she'll likely have to outperform how she's done nationally, because the fact is, if you got to tie it in the national popular vote, that is probably not good enough if you're Kamala Harris and you want to win the election against Donald Trump.
CNN senior data report.
You're not going to win the election, okay? You're just not going to do it. It won't happen. Only if they steal it. And that you're right. That's why the borders are open. That's why they're trying to push for them to be able to vote and be considered citizens. But they've already got license. They've already got IDs. They've already got Social Security cards. So I say every state, you need to get on it. You need to clean up your voter rolls. You need to set something and implement something in place that it protects our constitutional right to vote, because that is our God-given right to do so. And if you do not take those steps and measures to make sure the voting system is accurate, then you are just as guilty as someone voting illegally in my book. That's how I feel. Plain and simple. You don't have to agree with it, but you are just as guilty of it. Well, we know Kamala, she's going on and on and on and saying, no, I haven't ever had been in charge of the Jose. I haven't never been in charge of the border, which we know she has. Even Biden has been in charge of it. He put her in charge of it as a Cesar. Well, Trump had the leader of Border Patrol come up and speak.
Kamala Harris knows what she needs to do. I was there. I gave her all of the policies that she needed. All of them. And she refused to implement them. She does not care about you. She does not care about the safety of this country. He does. This is the man for the presidency.
Thank you. Wow.
And he does care about the country. Everybody knows that. But she's trying to say she had nothing to do with it. She's trying to say she didn't never bail out, post bail or bail out anyone in the Minnesota rioting. It burnt down everything. Nothing got done then either. I mean, you Democrats, y'all just wreak freaking havoc. You just go out and run amok, and you're all about violence. You say Republicans are about violence. You're all about violence. It's the proof is in the pudding, honey. It's all there. Look what you're doing. And do you think for 1 second, if you are part of the LGBTQ plus community, trans community, do you think for 1 second, if you went to Palestine, do you know that they would freaking dismember you, cut your head off, and do all this shit to you? Muslims have even put out a word they'd rather fight for a Zionist and do that and be blown up than to be standing next to someone that's part of the LGBTQ plus community just to push their political agendas. They've actually stated that. And if you don't believe me, I'll find the damn video. I've got proof of it. I ain't going to say something if I ain't got proof of it. I promise you that. They're just wreaking freaking havoc. Got buses dropping them off. My gosh, what in the world has our country freaking come to? Do you see what their plan was? They tried to assassinate Donald Trump. God had other plans, and he's continuing to have other plans. If you think for 1 minute that they won't try again, think again. Their plan just got faulty. Just because, I call her shit, resigned from Secret Service, that doesn't mean for 1 second they should stop getting to the bottom of what happened. This was an inside job. This was coordinated very, very well from the inside out. Megan wants to know, I want to know why the NG wasn't sent to handle this insurrection today. I agree. Why? That was an insurrection. Why wasn't anything done today? No, God doesn't make mistakes. But something should have been done. It was allowed to happen. Two-tier justice system. That's what we're seeing, guys, right before our eyes. We're seeing a two-tier justice system. Plain and simple.
This is the kind of thing that is playing out all over conservative media. I just want to do a little bit of record correcting. There's not record crime right now. Number one, Harris was put in charge, as you said earlier, of combating the roots of immigration. She was not and is not the border czar.
And the Biden administration did task Vice President Kamala Harris with the issue of migrant crossings, naming her the so-called border czar.
I've asked her, the VP, today, because she's the most qualified person to do it, to lead our efforts with Mexico and the Northern Triangle and the countries that help. We're going to need help in stemming the movement of so many folks stemming the migration to our southern border.
We've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I mean, I don't understand the point that you're making.
This is the kind of thing that is playing out.
Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? Are you kidding me? I lost some brain cells just then. This is why. Plausible deniability. Plausible deniability. She's in charge of abortion. We all know what's going on here. And if you don't, I don't know what else to do for you. I don't know what else to show you. But if you're okay with it. You're okay with it. I'm just beside myself. I can't believe our country is this way. I never thought in a million years I would see it this way. Well, here's one lady who had something to say.
Favorite comment at the moment. It's wild to me that you would vote against your own rights. I'm sorry, what rights are we talking about? American rights? Because that's what I'm voting for. Because your borders are your next Madame President who you're only voting for because either you hate Trump or you want the first Black, Indian, transracial woman to be president? Well, because of her great job at the border, there are people being let into this country that don't believe in any of my rights, solely because I'm a woman. These are people who don't believe in gay rights. These are people who will think twice about not asking you consent. These are people who even have laws in their country that they can't have more than one daughter because it's a waste of fucking time. So let's think about this again. Before you tell me that Donald Trump is gonna put me in The Handmaid's Tale and I'm gonna be at home making sandwiches, at least I'll be the only wife. because the people they're letting in have numerous fucking wives because they don't value women. So enjoy being gay. If you want any pointers, I'll let you know because you're going to have a bunch of fucking sister wives soon. Don't tell me how to vote based on my rights. I vote American rights only. You don't know what I'm voting for. And if you think I vote solely because I'm gay, you're fucking delusional. And you should not be voting.
Woo! On fire. I love her. She is on freaking fire. She's absolutely right. Absolutely right. They dangle something in front of you. You can see how they're tearing the country apart. I believe they know they're going to lose. They know they're going to lose. Plain and simple. They know that they're going to lose. I posted this last night. So what do they have left before the elections? War, cyber attacks, and blackouts to stop the election of November 5th, 2024. And who has 3 cybersecurity connected to all of this? CrowdStrike, software and cybersecurity, who is based in Texas and cannot stop cybersecurity for protections. They have these 2 options left, and they know they may not get war, and they want war to hide their crimes and bury it for good. They only have one chance again to steal an election on November 5th, 2024. And they use their tactics to scramble to get Biden out and sneak one in, like it's going to be VP Michelle Obama, I don't know, Hillary Clinton, Governor Newsom, or Gretchen Whitmer of Michigan. They scramble to try to win their base back, and they know that they cannot win. So they resort to blackouts, and that is power grids, internet, cell phones, and all compatible devices of technologies to be rendered useless. These blackouts in Alaska and other countries is a test run for November elections to stop Trump from getting into office. Do not be surprised if the president declares martial law after blackouts to slow down and try to stop Trump from getting into office, because CrowdStrike is at the center of all of this. I wrote this last night, and that's freaking fact. That's freaking fact. Think about that. Did her and I just become best friends? Hey, Mac. But that is what is going on, you guys. They are scrambling. They know that their time is coming to an end of power. No matter what they throw at Trump, it has not happened. Nothing. It's getting dropped. God's in control. They've even tried to kill the man, and it did not work. So all they have left now are those 2 things. So when you keep seeing all these blackouts, rolling blackouts, it is a test run. It is so close to the election. You guys, it's coming. It's coming. Thank you, MAGA. It is coming. And I don't know how much more I can tell you this. Make sure you're prepared, because they're not going to give up this power easily. They're just not. Everybody's sticking on the whim of, well, we have our Constitution and we have our elections. Guys, we're dealing with evil. And they simply just want to take and do what they want as a one world government. But God is not going to allow that, because the time it's not now. But certain things have to happen and take place. And there was a phone conversation with Trump and Zelensky about CrowdStrike. He wanted to know more about it because it was the main server was there in Ukraine. And I'm going to tell you, it is attached to the Dominion voting systems as well. Do your research. You'll figure it out. They are doing a test run. They are going to make this shit happen like this because they're not going to walk away from it. They're just not yet. You need to stockpile and everything. I'm not trying to fearmonger your ass. I'm just trying to pop some freaking truth in your ass. That's what I'm trying to do. You think for 1 second they tried to kill the man. Good people have to do good things we do not want to do, but do it to save our country and our family. You're right. You're absolutely right. Hell, Kamala's already said she wants to go after our 2A, you guys. She wants us to be like Australia. Australia has no guns. She says they set the standard for it. They have no way of protecting themselves. What happens if you have no way of protecting yourself, but the government can have all the guns they want? The government can make up their own military. The government, if they'd start taking our rights away like that, they'll keep taking until every single one is gone. Until every single one is gone. And I myself will use my last dying breath to stop that. And I'm telling you, the American people are not going to tolerate it. They're not going to tolerate it. And they're trying. They're trying. God will expose them. He sure will. They're power hungry. Oh, absolutely. They've gotten a huge taste of power, and that's where they're at. Well, oh, Biden. We wanted proof of life of Biden. Proof of life. We hadn't seen him. He got COVID after the debate. Emergency calls for a hospital. He's been gone. But he just does a quick interview on TV. I got just a little clip. He does a little interview on TV. We see him getting on and off the plane. Won't speak at all. That body structure didn't even look like him, guys. Go back and blow it up and rewatch. But here he is tonight mumbling his bullshit.
We were in the grip of the worst pandemic in the century. The worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. The worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War. We came together as Americans. We got through it. We emerged stronger, more prosperous, and more secure.
That was pre-recorded, guys. I'm telling you. That was pre-recorded. Every bit of it. Pre-recorded. We've been in this freaking bullshit game for 3.5 years now. That was a pre-recorded address. Democrats, since you put all your faith and trust into that man, you put all your faith and trust into him. Did he do you right? Did he take care of you? Did he do what he was supposed to do? Now you're stuck with hyena Kamala. Now you're stuck with her. And she actually thinks that she is going to do so well. And then she goes on and on and on talking about how she has raised the most ever in 24 hours. No, hooch. There was $250 million already in the DNC there that they'd raised for Biden. And you were only allowed to receive out of that $81 million. Get it right, because it was a Biden and Harris ticket. That's why you had that money. And also, you've been getting donations through Act Blue. But do you know what Act Blue? Now, Act Blue we talked about last night. Act Blue is where you get donations for the Democrat Party. But the thing is, there are so many people, their name is on there. And Project Veritas went to their homes, knocked on the door, and said, "Hey, did you donate $200,000?" And they're like, "What? I don't have $200,000." And they're like, "Well, I may have voted $100." Well, that $100 turned into $200,000. Sometimes in one day there were 4 donations. That is money laundering. How do we know this money? I'm sure it is. It's coming from foreign entities. That's foreign election interference. At best, that's what that is. Plain and simple. Yeah, that was only speech. But see, this happened tonight, 9 hours ago. Act Blue disabled their credit card verification process so that as long as the card numbers are valid, the name and the address do not need to match the actual card owner. No other donation platform allows this, and it results in a higher transaction fee. Why? Hey, Act Blue, why are you money laundering? We want to know exactly a list of where all these donations are coming from. Actual, verifiable. Not, oh, someone's name's there. But see, they've upped it now. You got an immense amount. George Clooney endorsed Kamala. He says, okay, we'll go with Kamala. We'll go with her. We'll endorse him. He created all the problems. You watch Matt Stefan X? Yeah, he's badass. He knows his shit. He does know his shit. Well, we haven't heard from the White House secretary, have we? We haven't, the speaker. We haven't heard from her. Well, now we have.
It's been over 1 week since White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre spoke to the American public. Even after her boss ended his re-election campaign, KJP has not taken to the White House podium. And instead of holding a briefing this morning, she sat down for I don't even know if it was a softball interview. I think it was a wiffle ball interview with the liberal hosts of The View. Here's what she had to say about Biden stepping aside. Watch.
So listen, there have been a lot of criticisms about if the White House was transparent enough about Biden's health in the months leading up to the debate. But now calls have gone further, including vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance saying if he's not up to serving 4 more years, can he serve out the rest of his term? How do you respond to that?
I think that's ridiculous. Seriously.
He's ridiculous.
Not me. But what I will say is, like, the president decided to not run for re-election. That's it. That's all he decided on. He wants to continue to do the work. 3.5 years of unprecedented historic work. I think that shows what he's capable of doing. I think that shows how important his leadership is. And moments ago, I talked about how he was able to reach across the aisle and do things in bipartisanship in the political environment that we're in. We have so much more work to do, and he understands that. He's going to speak to this in about 24 hours or so, and he'll lay that out. But this president is ready to continue to lead this country in a historic way, and that is stands.
I mean, that was hard to hear because the gaslighting continues, Harrison. For her to say it's ridiculous, no, it's actually founded, and it's certainly a founded question.
Well, I'll tell you who's going to help the Trump campaign the most. KJP and all the surrogates and spokespeople, because they have these platitudes of glory around the policy that has failed the American people on many fronts, particularly the economy, where people are still feeling the bite of high prices because the percentage of inflation has come down, but it was on top of like 8 and 9% inflation. I mean, it's going to take years for those prices to readjust, or we have to be right-sized with how much money we make. They may never come back down. So let them speak like that, because that helps Trump. It's just empty glory about how great his policies were and no actual awareness of what people feel. But probably the thing that really does not befit someone in that position is her propensity to lie to us and to cover up and to say, well, we didn't know about him. You knew before that debate, as a spokesperson who hopefully spends good time with him, that he was not ready for prime time. So again, I do caution, though, you put Kamala in that job of his right now. If they continue to progressively push the coup, as you said, Emily, and push him on out, and it's her, she's in place then as people go to vote. I think it makes it tougher. It doesn't make it impossible for Trump, but the job gets harder.
Tudor, I want to dig into another platitude of glory, which I love that phrase so much, that we were subjected to this morning on The View as she describes the last few days of Biden and the human decency that he has exhibited. Let's watch.
What we saw from this president the last couple days was a human decency, a good man, someone who decided not to put himself first, like we've seen before, but to put the American people first and this country first.
I'm curious. I would love a fact check on when exactly the president has put the American people first, especially by stepping aside and taking away from them their right to vote who they want at the top of the ticket.
But it's the ultimate cover-up. That's why she's on The View. The View is telling people what to think. Here we have KJP. She's talking about the president the entire time in past tense. Think about that. She says he was reaching across the aisle. He was doing this for 54 years. She doesn't say he is. She says he was. She's over him. She's dumped him. They're on to Kamala. They're moving on. He's done.
She was asked the question whether, as we pointed out earlier, was he done or was he told he was done? And the question was, does he feel betrayed by that? Let's listen to her answer.
People love Joe Biden. I mean, there was a great expression by his party, people talking on television all weekend about how much they love him. Because he is a lovable guy.
Yeah.
And he's got a good heart, and all of that. There was a pylon to get him to step down by the Democrats, a lot of Democrats, and movie stars, George Clooney, for example. But does Joe feel betrayed by any of that, or does he understand that it was for the country also?
I mean, look, he's going to speak tomorrow. We'll hear from him directly, and I think he'll address whatever is on his heart. Like you said, he has a big heart.
Yeah.
He understands where people are. He understands having done this 36 years as a senator, 8 years as vice president, and now almost 4 years as president. He gets it. He gets where we are as a country.
The media reaction after he stepped down, I thought was fascinating, because you see the same people that kept saying Joe needs to go are now celebrating him and wishing him well. There's a knife in the back, of course, as he's walking away. But I'm a little more worried about, and John Bolton brought this up in a Wall Street Journal editorial piece yesterday morning, I'm more worried about the global stage right now. We have a world on fire. And to the past tense point, Tudor, that you brought up, and I'm glad you said that, because if you've got a lame duck president, which is exactly what Bolton talked about, then if you're China, you're Hamas, you've got Russia, if you've got these world powers looking and seeing the chaos that's now been created, and a president that is going to, if you think, hang on until November 6th, we shall see, so we can pardon his son, what does that tell our enemies around the world right now? That's the bigger concern, I think, to me right now, on top of the fact that we're learning so much more about what these world leaders were seeing and talking about behind the scenes at the G7, at NATO, not just this year, 2 years ago.
And Paul, she went on to say the typical tagline that democracy is at stake. She said, what he's been able to do, what we've been able to do is unprecedented. And she said, we're not leaving communities behind. I feel seen because of this president. I agree what they've done is unprecedented, but not for the reasons she stated.
Yeah, it's certainly unprecedented. We've never had these sorts of conversations in this country I got an email today.
He goes on to say that he got an email, and he said, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I truly wanted to know if Joe Biden was alive. And then he goes on to say that he believes Jean Pierre is wanting a job with The View. He said what she just did was a job interview. I wouldn't doubt it. She'd fit right in there, the spewing liars. A world on fire, and the Democrats lit the match while gaslighting the country. Couldn't said it better myself. But yeah, that's her way of thinking. And I believe Joe Biden is hanging on so he can pardon his son. Do you really think he is going to allow Hunter Biden to not be pardoned? Do you really think he's going to allow his last living son to do at least, it's like 28 years? No, he's not. He's going to do whatever he can to save his son. And they are all complicit. They knew his mental state. They knew that this was going on the whole entire time, this presidency, before it. They put him in office, and I believe we always call him Biden, which we mean Obama, was in control. He's the puppet master. Biden was the puppet. So was Kamala. Now Kamala is the second part of the puppet, because I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care who they put up for vice president and Kamala, either one of them, if she becomes in president, it will be an Obama running our country again. It will be like having a fourth term. It's exactly what it will be like. Hunter is still alive, and we do not have proof of life of the Biden either lately, do we? No, we sure don't. Our country is open season for all the other countries. They are planning, believe me, just God bless our military, and we'll be fighting his fight. Absolutely. No, don't. The precious pedo finger painting son. Oh, totally agree. He's got the 5 fingers painted on his back, didn't he? You guys go deep dive in the 5 fingers. You will be shocked if you've never went and dove down in there. Well, let's switch gears. The committee asked more questions today. And Ray, FBI Director Ray, was asked a lot of tough questions. Did he finally give any answers? Did he say anything worth saying? Or did he play the simple role? I can't talk about that. I can't speak about that. I have to get back to you on that. Because, see, for the last 3.5 years, we've had these bullshit committees sit here and ask all of these questions to all of these individuals, and none of them have had to answer. But today, President Trump, excuse me, has requested for Ray to resign. And I think he should. But let's listen in on a few things that Ray has said and what others are saying back.
Okay. You mentioned that the would-be assassin bought a 5-foot ladder. You have a credit card evidence of that. But it looks like on the scene there was a larger ladder that he might have used. Do you know which ladder he used to get to the roof? And do you have possession of that 5-foot ladder and the other ladder? And do you know how the taller ladder got to the scene?
So this whole business about the ladder is something we're drilling into more. We do have possession of the 5-foot ladder that he purchased close in time to his attempted assassination. That we've traced the purchase of that ladder from a receipt, a bloodied receipt that he had on him at the time his body was recovered on the roof. We do not yet know for sure how exactly he got up on the roof. We're looking at, various forensic pieces to try to kind of piece that together. So more to come on that.
Do you know where the 5-foot ladder was found or retrieved? Was it near the roof, or was it still in his vehicle?
Neither. I don't have it in front of me, but I know that it was not. I know that it was not on scene, and I know that it was not in his vehicle. But we can circle back to you and get to that.
See, circle back. It's always, we'll circle back to it. Oh, here is what Matt had to say with him.
How often do you brief President Biden?
You mean on this specific case?
No, in your role as FBI director.
I mean, I don't know that I could give you a number.
Is it like weekly, monthly, daily?
It's not at a regular cadence. There have been times when there have been months at a time when I haven't, and then there have been times when several days apart I have. It's always with other people.
The vice president, is she typically there?
Often has been.
Okay, so when did you notice his decline?
In my interactions, in my role, all my interactions with the current president have been completely professional.
Right, but I mean the cognitive decline. I'm not saying he treated you unprofessionally, just maybe not picking things up as quickly as he used to.
Again, I don't meet with him very often, but what you're describing is not something that I've observed during my interactions.
We've had it observed so often that the ranking member and Mr. Schiff on this committee have said that he could no longer continue as a candidate. And so, since you're the FBI director, I was just sort of wondering, who's running the country? If something bad happened, you'd have to go brief President Biden about it right now. God forbid.
And on any number of occasions, I have briefed the president, and as I said, those briefings have all been uneventful and unremarkable.
Oh, I can imagine them being uneventful. But in the work where the vice president's also present, like you say, there's more than half the time there's these briefings, she's there too?
I don't know if I said more than half the time. Certainly there have been times where she's been present. There have been other times where she hasn't.
I take you at your word when you say this is the most complicated threat environment you've ever observed over a long career in law enforcement. And I'm just kind of wondering, with this assassination attempt, with the invasion at our border, with all the Hamas that have been let in, that you've talked about and briefed about, is Biden up to it? And if he's not up to it, and you're a guy who's been regularly briefing him, who's been in on this conspiracy to hide the real Joe Biden from all of us for years? It never occurred to you that this guy wasn't up to it in all these briefings you did?
As I said, my briefings with the president have all been completely fine.
Were they between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m.?
He's asked questions. There hasn't been anything of note in the area that you're talking about.
Yeah, did you ever have to brief him before 10 a.m. or after 4 p.m.? We hear those are as good hours.
I certainly times that I have briefed have included outside those hours.
I'm just kind of wondering if you were being straight with all of us about how things were going with him. I guess we'll have to figure that out.
You can count on me to be straight with you, sir.
We'll see. How often do you brief President Biden?
Wow. See, you never get a straight answer. Never a straight answer. They all knew exactly what was going on. Exactly what was going on with this president. And he has not been running our country. He has been doing the signing. He has been being put in front of the camera. That is who he is. He is just a pawn in a huge evil plan that these people have. And their plan has been working for the past 3.5 years. This was supposed to go into effect when Trump ran against Hillary. See, but God had other plans there. He intervened and Trump was president. And boy, that pissed Hillary off. So see, now they had to scramble and plan the whole time Trump was in office, the impeachments, every bit of it to try to get him out. Because their plan for 2030, the Agenda 2030. Go read it, study it, learn it. That's exactly where they're headed. You'll be so amazed when you hear it. Read it. Jack Prose had a guest on, and she explained about the explosive devices with crooks and other avenues.
Presence of an explosive. Now, recall, and Christopher Wray said this again today, this rally was publicly announced on July 6th, 1 week before. What Christopher Wray told House Judiciary Committee today is that on that day, Thomas Crooks Googled how close did Oswald come to JFK. So we're supposed to believe that in a week's time, Thomas Crook, a 20-year-old, we're told is a loner, an outcast, again, fits the mold of individuals who the government targets to use for whatever political purposes they need to, that in a week's time, he put together explosive devices. He got his hands on a drone, learned how to use it, which Christopher Wray said he used between 3:50 and 4 o'clock on the afternoon of July 13th, was live streaming it, about 10 minutes of footage that he took of Butler Farms, that site. And so we're supposed to believe he has become a sharpshooter where he came within, to your point, a half inch of the president's head and did all of this undetected within a week's time. None of that passes the smell test, Jack, especially as you know, observing this FBI for the better part of a decade, doing anything in its power to destroy President Trump, his family, his business, his associates, his advisors, like Steve Bannon. Trump supporters, almost 1,500 now have been arrested for January 6th and charged. Something, by the way, Chris Wray took at least 3 occasions to brag about today, the number of convictions that the FBI has gotten out of J6ers. So this just is impossible to believe. But he did say, Christopher Wray, there's no evidence of any accomplices when he was asked by House Republicans. No way.
Yeah, there's no way. There was multiple accomplices, multiple. But I thought Crooks was what they reported right off the bat before they knew anything. He didn't have any social media. He didn't have this and do that. And they wouldn't turn over anything. They have had time to plan all kinds of shit. But come to find out, Crooks did have a Gab account. And if he was streaming live, was he streaming live off this account? For someone who was a loner, and like she said, he just miraculously put some shit together. Here is one here. Didn't you also think Biden would lose a landslide? Yeah, I would not be very confident in your election predictions. Now, this is Cat Turd. First of all, Biden's executive orders don't incentive human trafficking, and they go back and forth, but he had a Gab account. Can you believe that? You guys can screenshot some of these. And former agencies of U.S., they're all corrupt. They set this up because the first order mandates reuniting. Oh, that's my old one. Sorry about that. But Thomas Matthew Crooks made 9 posts on Gab supporting President Biden COVID lockdowns and Biden's border policies, according to Gab founder Andrew Toribel. Now, last night I showed a video of his father and mother. They were grocery shopping. Well, mother had a mask on still. I'm sorry to explain to me how Trump was ever concerned with what the left wanted, or anybody in the GOP for that matter. The reason all of the deaths were down is because you are stuck in your houses. Actually, the executive order allows an easier path to use U.S. citizenship, therefore no longer making them illegals and allowing children to join their already legalized immigrant parents in the U.S. First of all, Biden executive orders do not incentivize human trafficking, as human traffickers aren't interested in citizenship. This is what he had stated. Likewise, the majority of illegal immigrants are not criminals, and in fact, some studies such as show lower rates of crime committed by those individuals. This was a conversation on his Gab account for someone who didn't have social media, but they find out that he was streaming it live for 10 minutes. I want to see the live. If you know he did it, then you have a copy of it. The internet's fucking forever. You put something out there, it's out there. Plain and simple. It doesn't never just go away. It never goes away. But you guys can check this out. Cat Turd posted this one off X. It's the exact same thing I just read. But he had his own account. He had his account on there. What, Christy? Look at you, MAGA. Oh. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. But at the end of the day, guys, we are dealing with the worst evil I think I have come in contact with, that I've had to see. And I just honestly, I can't imagine these people and their spawns of whatever running this country with my kids and my grandkids. I mean, I truly have nightmares thinking about it. This is scary times when it comes to, and I know God's got it and everything, but I'm still human and I'm still concerned. I'm very concerned. It's a play, it's a ploy. Keep your eye on who the vice president is going to be. Watch who the vice president would be against him. But he says he's still going to run. He says he's still going to be president. He didn't say he wasn't going to be president. That's all he gave. I don't think he's going to drop. I really don't. I just don't think he's going to drop. I think he's going to continue because he plays a role. But see, with him staying in, Obama still gets to run the country. If he drops, Obama could still run it. But we have Kamala, you see. And she's a power-hungry witch chasing power. And she's not going to give it up. She's not going to be told what to do. And so many people don't like her. They don't want her to be even nominated. But hey. And I feel sorry for you, Democrats. I really do. Myself. They just completely violated your constitutional rights. You talk about democracy. Elections, as far as conservatives, that is when democracy takes place, is in our elections. And that is what it's for. That's why we say democracy in our elections. We are a constitutional republic because we abide by the Constitution. But we do have democracy with our elections. But they just completely overrode your asses. Did they give you a ballot to choose who you thought you might want to, In Wisconsin and Nevada, my understanding is he's got to either 25th Amendment or he's got to be dead in order for them to place her on the ballot there. In Ohio, there's still a situation going on there. Devil Dog, my oldest son, 27 years old, even told me several times that he really doesn't want to have kids and raise him or her in this country. It's sad for me, but I understand, and I hope it turns around fast. I do too. Oh, she's giving it up a whole lot. That's how she got as far as she's gotten. You're right, Megan. Even Willie Brown came out and spoke, didn't he? He came out and he even had a few words. But he supports her. He supports her. He absolutely supports her. This country is in trouble. It's in trouble. You can't vote for your feelings, guys. You can't. Don't think it's not about you. This is bigger. Bigger than me. It's bigger than you. This is bigger than anything we've ever in our lives come across, and they're going to have to fight. It's huge. Heels up, Harris. Someone sent me a picture of Harris and the high heels in the center of it. I have one last video I want to play.
What do you think that a lot of Americans are like? I'm just going to say it. Are you aware, sir, that many Americans believe this was very likely not a lone shooter, but a coordinated assassination attempt? Have you been getting those messages from people like I have?
I have not, sir.
You haven't? Well, there's a lot of people in this room that have been getting the same messages. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that a lot of Americans are like, this doesn't add up, this doesn't make sense, guys? How could this many things have gone wrong? Right? Like the things I pointed out, a 20-year-old kid, got 150 yards of the President of the United States with an AR-15, flew a drone to conduct site surveillance, was spotted with a rangefinder ranging targets, then lost, had advanced explosive devices on him with no military training. Nobody was placed in the most obvious spot to conduct counter sniper operations. I was a sniper in the SEAL teams, Colonel. As soon as I got out of the SUV and I saw that that water tower, I was like, that's exactly where I'd be. Put me right there. So obvious. After partisan attempts to bankrupt him, imprison him for 750 years, and countless depictions as a modern day Hitler, are you surprised, sir, that a lot of Americans are like, maybe there's more to this story?
I wouldn't begin to speculate about what the American people think, sir.
Colonel, did your team make entry and conduct investigation at the suspect's home prior to this shooting?
Excuse me, sir? I've asked that question.
Did your team make entry and conduct any investigation at the suspect's home?
I believe we had people that participated in that securing of it. There were bomb assets that we provided.
Mr. Chairman, can I have 30 more seconds?
Yeah, I'm letting everybody come.
Okay.
On the night of. Since then, none.
Did you get any reports from any of your agents of anything fishy at the home?
I was briefed on.
Was there any silverware found in the home or trash?
I have nothing in the briefing that I was given, sir.
Was it extremely clean, almost like a medical lab? Were you given any of those reports?
I was not giving any of those details, sir.
Okay, that's what I'm hearing. Interesting.
Interesting. I'll show you something. Got to go here to get it. Oh, I don't know if you downloaded right or not, but we're going to try. So they went to the home, and when they went to the home, they had stated that, well, before they went to, they said that it was hoarders, it was, when they first went. And here is what the FBI said. Investigators who searched the family's home discovered it was cluttered and not well cleaned, something of a compulsive hoarder's house. But when they were testified yesterday, they stated that it was so clean and immaculate. Someone did a cleanup job on that. Someone did a cleanup job, I'm telling you. There's something huge going on here. This is inside job. They did use this kid. I believe they groomed this kid. He was in a Black Rock video. I believe the parents got to. Them parents, I'm telling you, they know more than they're letting on. And I believe the committee should subpoena them. I surely do. Because, see, they know. You know the actions of your kids in and out. And they had called earlier today, called the police because he was missing. And the dad realized his gun was gone. I know they can't even answer it. They've been saying the water tower. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying, people. So why is it all being allowed? Ray was talking about January 6 prisoners today and talking about how they deserve to be in there, and also going as far as that. Now, this is conspiracy, this thing's going out, that they won't let the January 6ers out because there would be too many undercover FBI agents let out as well. And they're afraid people will roll. That's what they're afraid of. It's all unraveling. It was spotless. It was spotless. No, and the fact is, not speculation. Americans aren't stupid, and we know it was a setup. Absolutely. And Trump, make sure you beef up your security. You get the best at the best that you know that will protect you, because they are not done. My concern is this weekend, whenever Netanyahu comes to town, and that's why the protests are taking place at the White House outside that hotel. Somehow they got in the hotel. They put maggots on the table. They put maggots down the hallway. They spray painted. And a lot of these people are Americans doing this. American citizens doing this. American citizens burning our flag. That was not their flag to burn. Was not their flag. And then they post. Now you tell me, what does the Constitution say about the flag? Then they put the damn Palestinian flag up on the damn pole. Really? And nothing gets done? Ray, why ain't your ass arresting them? My tax dollars go to pay for this shit. I ain't paying no more. I ain't paying no more taxes for this bullshit. I didn't sign up for this. I didn't sign up for you to do the evil that you're doing. Not at all. It was Trump, I would go to Hood, grab all the ones that he said they will protect him. I know that they would. They protect him. But I'm going to tell you guys, as time gets closer, it's going to get crazy. It's going to get rowdy. Americans, we have to pray. We have to pray. Got to get it out of the flesh, because that really angered me when I saw them doing that with our American flag going up the pole. I can't stop what you do with your personal shit. That's you. But you went up to the flag pole. And Ray and FBI and whoever else, CIA, get your ass to work and arrest every single one of them. The ones that were throwing the cops down, ones that were harming them, breaching. They breached the day before the Capitol walls. They came in. They protested inside when it was in session. What does Constitution say about that? Congress, I expect you to uphold our Constitution, right? You took an oath. For the ones that did take an oath, and for the ones that didn't take an oath, get the fuck out. We're tired of it. We don't want you in our government. We the people hire you. And when you don't do a job right, you get fired. Now, I know there's steps in this to where people get fired, but there's one huge step in our Constitution to where we can fire you. I ain't going to explain it to you. Go take a look at our United States Constitution. But we the people can fire you and remove you. And that's exactly what's probably going to have to happen, because you guys are stupid. Running amok, doing bullshit. Biden has been the worst president in history. Amen, sister. Amen. Hey, Island girl, how are you? What did you say? Yeah, get ready. You would handpick all the security people, each one of them. Oh, yeah. I think he needs to have Dan Bongino on there. I think he needs to soup it up and pick out the people to protect him. God will expose it all. I have faith in retribution is coming, and you can't hide from God. You cannot hide from God. Amen. No, ma'am. You sure can't. I thought I had another picture. Hang on. I guess it didn't go on there. Oh, well. It's okay. He has to be head of... Yeah, he used to be head of Secret Service. That's why I say he would be one of the best bet. Well, let's watch... go. I'm coming. Oh, and Democrats, this is for you.
They want men to pretend that they're feminine. They don't want an election. They got so offended by freedom that they just try killing the president. I used to think that the woke were misguided, but now I can see that they're evil. Twitter is angry that Trump isn't dead. You know who got shot? Innocent people. Thought y'all were tolerant, thought we were equals. I thought you valued how everyone feels. Then why are y'all celebrating an attempted assassination like you're part of Antifa? Thank God the left can't aim. Thank God the right don't riot. Welcome to the home of the brave. Freedom ain't afraid of violence. You wish you was dying? Bitch, you missed! Thank God the left can't aim. Why can't we just shoot straight? Y'all are going insane. Bitch, you missed!
There we go. And you did miss. Everyone, go get your I'm Voting Felon 2024 hat with Trump on it. I'm going to show
Time to fight back, no, they won't like that. Everywhere is somewhere, and that's where the fight's at. I think it's time to fight back, no, they won't like.
you guys were in the dark again. My ring light seems to go out after about 45 minutes. So I'll be in the dark for a second. Everyone, please go get your hat. You can go to www.dacustoms.com. They use leather, t-shirts, hats, wallets. 781-389-8179. We have new merch coming out this week. You guys are going to love it. Love it. Love it. So be on the lookout of it. It's going to be awesome. Yes, Devil Dog. You guys can find him. He has other hats too. He has so many hats. So many hats. So many beautiful things. And it is veteran owned and operated. That is what makes it even more, because we have to support our veterans. We have to support them. They're the reason we're free today. Keep that in mind. And I know the ones on the left, they don't believe that. They don't care. They don't give a shit about the veterans. But you know what? You're sitting in freedom today because many millions of Americans lost and fought for this country. So how dare you take down our American flag? I'm very upset about that. As you can tell, I am so upset about that. But you missed taking Trump out. Trump be head on a swivel. I'm licensed security. I'm licensed private investigator. Hire my ass. Hire my ass. You guys tell Trump to hire my ass. You guys, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Grandma, Devil Dog, Amy, MAGA, Christy. I really appreciate you guys, and Jen and Jolene. You guys have a blessed night and have a great Thursday. The week's almost over. Friday's coming. We'll be back here tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. And everyone on YouTube, thank you for joining in. Everyone on X, thank you as well. I really appreciate you. You guys like, follow, and share. And with that, Country Crazy out.